If you're watching this, congrats, you are transgender. If you're finding out this way, welcome to the community. You, since you're trans, might have considered preventing your transition from happening in one way or another. I have done this too. I actually detransitioned when I was a child. Now, unlike other detransitioners you might know of, I'm not going to tell you to stop transitioning. Yeah, it's crazy. Actually, I think you should play more if you're gender, especially if you are cis. Playing, you say? Let's talk about this video's totally not self-promo, self-advert. That's right. I, much like this plushie, have seen some cursed things, and we're partners together in this horrible world we live in, and because of that, I have to make money. That's right, I have a battle pass and a Patreon. This Patreon I just made, so if you want to go support my content making and making sure I can pay my editor, go to the Patreon and do stuff. There's tiers, you can go read them. I don't know. I detransitioned when I was 15 and I decided to go in the closet because of social pressure from other people. Now, it was generally a lot of different people who were putting this pressure on me, but it was specifically my teachers who would pull me aside and berate me. Typically, they would ask questions about, if people were putting me up to this, if I was being, abused at home. They would mispronounce my name, and just overall being a nuisance solely because I was trans. And nothing really ever happened about it, but, here we are now. If you follow me for some time, you actually would know that I started hormones when I was 17, and I've been on hormones ever since, ignoring the time my doctor told me COVID caused me to have gender dysphoria. Obviously, I retransitioned at one point. I didn't stay detrans forever, as you can probably tell right now. You might have noticed how I have not told you that you should detransition or how you're being indoctrinated somehow. And you might be a little shocked by that because a lot of detrans people online and in the media actually slander the trans community quite a lot. One such organization that actually does this is the LGBT Alliance, which is famous for having a straight person lead them. That's right, she's not a queer at all, but she runs the LGBT Alliance. They want you to either stop being trans or Jeff the Landshark yourself off the map. You might think that I'm a statistical anomaly of how I've not been pushing the same narrative that big media and other conservative pundits have been pushing. The idea that detrans people hate the fact that they had soft skin, luscious hair, girls smell, and other horrible effects of estrogen. Right? Like, I would be a statistical anomaly because there's so many of them versus me. Right? I am now going to transplain a bunch of things to you that I have written down because I can't remember the numbers. In 40 studies ranging from bias on both sides, the average detransition rate was 3.3 in the US. There are 1.6 million trans people in the USA according to the Williams Institute. That would mean 0.46% of Americans are trans, and that 5,200 of them are detrans people. 82 of those detrans people said that they did it because of social stigma against trans people. That means transphobia if you read like a Republican. If we believe a UK survey of 3,398 patients, only 0.09% of detrans people did it permanently. Applied to the US number, there are less than 50 detrans people in the US that didn't retransition later on in life. Something tells me places like the LGBT Alliance and other conservative medias haven't found all 50 of the detrans people because there's so many detrans people in the media. I see a new one almost every single week. For context, if you needed it, the surgical regret rate for trans surgeries is 1.9%. That is less than knee surgery, which is 6 to 30%. Me when knee surgery is tomorrow. Besides corona positioning myself with that meme, it's important to notice how detrans people in media are just industry plants. If you are as old as ciabatta bread, which was invented in the 80s, you might actually remember the ex-gay movement, which started in the 70s and ended around the 2000s. This hetero agenda used self-made claims to assert that gay people were somehow bad. They're also known for sending minors, that's not Steve from Minecraft, to conversion camps to get the gay out of them. A large portion of the ex-gay movement was done by conservative pundits who were using ex-gay people to sort of assert a higher amount of ex-gay people in the larger queer community. That sounds awfully familiar to me, but it sucks that I don't have any evidence to give you that would support this narrative that the ex-gay community and the detrans movement are somehow, similar. Like, it would be so good if I had evidence for that. It'd be so. The LGB Alliance describes its objective as asserting the right of lesbians, bisexuals, and gay men to define themselves as same-sex attracted. And it states that such a right is threatened by attempting to introduce confusion between biological sex and the notion of gender. That is a quote from the Wikipedia article of the LGB Alliance. And that comes straight from their mission. Their agenda is based around the self-made claim that trans people are introducing confusion into cis people that makes cis people believe in basic facts, like how Makima was the villain of Chainsaw Man and shouldn't have been with, Denji. The LGB also famously made a hashtag called Stop Transing the Gay Away and conversation around banning conversion therapy in the UK, which has to be one of the worst hashtags I have ever seen. The LGB community has also gained famous endorsement from Boris Johnson, who is most famous for being named Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson and choosing to only go by two names, Boris Johnson and J.K. Rowling, the least racist author in the world. Crazy. It's crazy how everything I just said cannot be compared to anything I said prior in this video, and how the LGB Alliance is led by a straight woman who just wants trans people to detransition or at least stop existing. So yeah, everything I just said has probably upset the worst people ever, but it's okay because one day trans people will stop being the monster of the week inside politics. I think in a few years we'll have a new stop something movement, and honestly, I'm going for elves. I think there's gonna be the ex-elf movement in like a decade or so. What minority do you think will be considered the devil next? Put your comments below. So this is the outro to the video. Congrats on making it this far. Did you know I have a Patreon? Did you know that I have a battle pass? Did you know you can like and subscribe and comment on this video? Yeah, you should. You should go support me in every way you can, because if you do that, my editor will be able to eat tomorrow. It means my editor can get paid a livable wage. That's right. I believe in paying my editor a livable wage, and right now my YouTube videos are going at a loss. But I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a shorter one. Right now I'm actually working on a longer video about a different topic that's related to trans people. My editor told me that I shouldn't have sent them, 2 hours long of content to edit down? So I had to make a short video to come out before the new year, because, we have to do that. I hope to see you in the next video. I hope to see you around. Bye, y'all. Have fun being trans.